So that is AndyDavo's team. Everyone who was watching yesterday is already familiar with it, but let's remind ourselves. We've got, as Jimmy was saying, a block ogre. We've got a 5 guard spread across the dwarf blockers, the dwarf blitzer, the troll slayer, and 1 human lineman. And we've got, of course, the tackle mighty blow that didn't do so much with that tackle mighty blow, or at least certainly less than Andy was hoping for. A catcher with block, a thrower with block, and crucially, the star of the show, Jimmy, that halfling hopeful crawl at the bottom of the roster.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously the best player on the team, isn't he? But it's very similar. It's actually very similar to Arzowane's team in terms of the skill ups and that, and half of the players are the same, aren't they?
I think they're remarkably similar, and if we get Arzowane's roster on screen in a second, that would be great, because then we can see exactly how similar they are. Arzowane has ordered his differently, but when you dig into it, you see 5 guard, I believe, still there, spread across different players. He has got one of those guard on a catcher, which is quite interesting, because that makes that quite a versatile piece for having the range of movement and the dodge skill to maybe get it into interesting squares. As Jimmy said, the ogre has guard, which means that the ogre is less reliable for hitting, but is pretty good at getting into spots to be assists. And then 3 blitzers with guard, which are arranged here in a way to confuse my eyes anyway, but you can see them all. 3 blitzers with guard. There is also a tackle mighty blow, exactly the same as Andy. There is a halfling, the same as Andy. And there is 14 players on that human roster. So while they are slightly down on armor, they perhaps make up for it, Jimmy, by having a deeper bench and I guess just having that possibility of losing a player and that not hurting them so much.
Yeah, they could foul as well, right? That's something they've got going for them. They could foul a bit with 14 players, and of course in overtime having the 14th player is good, so that could be good for them. It's really close. It's really close, I think, between these two. But the extra package from all of the lines is nice, isn't it? The extra skills really helps them.
I suppose the other thing to think about with that, though, Jimmy, the other big advantage that humans has is just that they don't have loner on any of those players. And we saw a couple of times yesterday Andy had to roll loner and made the loner, and it was okay. But sometimes you don't make those loner rolls.
Not this tournament so far for Andy, but yeah, that's always the danger. Yeah, for sure. The loner is what's bad about all of the Lions. But you can kind of make it so that Andy's trying to do the important stuff for the loners, right? That's what Arzowane's going to be trying to do. He's going to be trying to make the loner rolls critical for Andy. And obviously Andy's going to try and make them not critical. And Andy's going to be hitting things with the ogre with block. And Arzowane's going to be he's still going to have to hit with the ogre. He's just not going to be as happy about it because he hasn't got block.
I think I'm right in remembering that last year when we had Andrew in the final against Jomed, he had on his Imperial Nobility team, he had an ogre with guard and was still, exactly as you say, because that was the only mighty blow on that team, using it where he could to throw blocks. Arzowane and Andrew, of course, both play in Procedimento Ilegal. They played against each other in the last 16, I believe. It was one of them to come into the quarterfinals, and Arzowane won it. So certainly, I suppose, a community that knows about ogres without block. Maybe that's a rather tenuous link, but I imagine that we are going to have those two coaches, as we know. I imagine they've talked to each other this week. I think there's a lot of community in that Spanish group, as there is in a lot of the French group, and as there is in some of the British groups as well. So I'm sure there's been lots of solidarity, even from the players who've been knocked out. As we go through to kickoff here, it looks like Arzowane has won the coin toss. I actually did scoot through just watching the game yesterday against Justicium after the stream, and I noticed that Arzowane went defence first in that matchup as well. So clearly Jimmy likes defence first.
Wow. I mean, it is raining here, isn't it? Which helps a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could switch from red and blue, right? Because I think these teams might be different enough now. We can tell them apart, maybe.
What do you think?
I don't know. No, actually, they're quite similar, aren't they? Maybe the red and blue gets confusing itself, doesn't it, when you switch between?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not following the player; it's just following the side. So yeah. But we will explain to the viewer which one is which.
Yes. I think if in doubt, the red blue's safer because, for instance, those two ogres are going to get muddled, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
Arzowane is the red team.
yes, I
Oh
currently.
no, Andy is. There's a dwarf. Andy's the red.
Yes, sorry. I might need someone from production to give me some help with this tablet because I currently can't get it logged in and I'd like to be able to see chat while the game's going. So I'm going to put that out there and hopefully.
Can I?
Hang on.
Yeah.
I might have it. I'm in. Don't worry. I'm in.
Yeah.
Good news, chat. I'll be with you in just a second as we see the two teams setting up. Jimmy, Andy said it himself just now. Offense maybe has not gone so smoothly for him as he would like in the last few games. I think there were some struggles against J-Lev in the OWA mirror, and there were some struggles we saw yesterday on stream. Is there things that you think Andy could do differently, or is that just the nature of OWA?
Bit of both. I think there were a few things Andy could have done better. I think he said it himself. He didn't really play great in the second game, his offense. So yeah, he can. There's a few things he can do better. I don't know if he spent all night thinking about them or not, but yeah, it's Blood Bowl. You can always do better. Nobody plays a perfect game, do they?
What would you be looking at if you were in Andy's shoes in this first drive? I know there's the obvious thing, which is hit things with Mighty Bow and hope they go pop. But is there anything beyond that for these first few turns?
That is about it. But also claim space when you can, because you are
Yeah.
really slow, right? You've got a really slow team. They've got a fast team. You want to limit their speed advantage, and you want to mitigate your speed disadvantage.
Big opportunity for Andy right away to get the ball in the rain on a player, but fails the catch. Actually, that's one of the things that I think was interesting, again, skimming through Arzowane's game yesterday. Oh, Mighty Bow gets a stun to start us off. I saw Arzowane yesterday a couple of times in his games picking up on the sure hands thrower, because of course the human thrower is on both teams, and then handing off right away to a catcher, which on the one hand uses the built-in rerolls on both of them, as we see another arm break, and a removal for Andy right away. He'll be happy with that. But on the other hand, does introduce two chances to fail, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know what you think about that, Jimmy, and I don't know how you would approach Andy's drive here if you would, at this point, having failed the pickup on the catcher. I guess you just want to get it on the throw, don't you?
Yes, yeah, I would. I wouldn't say I hate what Arzowane does with it, but I don't like it. I think it's obviously better than just trying to pick up on the catcher. It's absolutely better than just picking up on the catcher. But for me, I would. It's if you can afford to fail a pickup, it's kind of a little bit better. But also, I don't ever want to fail a pickup. So no, I just want it on the thrower and don't roll dice that I don't need to roll, and just keep it on the throw. And if you have to hand off to the catcher later in the drive, then you have to hand off to the catcher later in the drive. That's a good weapon to have, I think, rather than having the player on a blodger. I think it's good that you can make the handoff. So yeah, I'm really not a fan of.
Do you think that's a slightly different equation again for the humans and the OWA about wanting to carry on the catcher? Because with OWA, there's almost that plan you can have where you try to make sure that the thrower's always got the one catcher in support and you can hand off if you need to. But if you've got two catchers, then you might as well have it on one of them right away and you can always hand off to the other one.
Well, you kind of can, but also sometimes you can't. So no, I think I would just go for the highest odds again, unless the ball was really deep and there was no threat at all from failing a pickup. But even then, we've seen time and again you fail the pickup.
Oh my goodness! Andy is getting the dice he wants to start this game. This is the dice he did not get against the Dark Elves. He's got two removals on turn one. That is a big shift in the position for this drive, isn't it, Jimmy, if you've got numbers advantage this early?
Probably streaming once again for Andy, having all this armor break for sure.
Absolutely.
But that's something that Jimmy did not mention, about the plan of Andy. I think, they are working together. First, Jimmy not being able to come here, and now Andy, playing during the whole weekend and trying to go to overtime, just to get me on the stream as long as possible. And I think that's exactly the plan of Andy here. He's probably trying to get in a 3 grand series here so he make me work more. I think that is the plan right now. Yeah.
We did tell Andy he set the bar high yesterday for entertainment. He gave us a high entertainment series, as did Le Marseillais, who messaged me last night after the game. I really hope he enjoyed our coverage because he was also brilliant. I thought that was just such a well-played series from both of them. But I did tell Andy that he set the bar high and he needs to continue to deliver entertainment for everyone as we go forward. Jimmy, we talked about this from Andy's point of view and those removals being plan A, which he's got. How does that affect Arzowane side of it now? Arzowane having to play this right away down 2 players. Do you just have to steel yourself and still just try to hold that middle part of the pitch?
Yeah, that's all you can really do. Just hold the centre, and just hope the tide switches back, which it can, right? You know, if you hit with mighty blow every turn, you try to chain for extra hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, he could actually run around the back here. Okay, no, he's not Andy's. It's Andy's turn. But he could have run around the back.
I see what's causing the confusion, that actually the overlay is currently the wrong way around. The overlay is showing Arzowane on AndyDavo's side.
Right.
That's what's confusing the issue a little bit. Yes, I don't know if we can get that flipped, but right now it is showing Arzowane's turn 2 when it should be showing AndyDavo's turn 2. So that is a technical hiccup, which we can try to get
She's being solved.
Switched. Yes. Also some confusion in chat. We did introduce him at the start of the show, but the person in the studio with me is Vitooc, who is the lead product manager for Nacon. So yes, people coming in late may miss the introduction.
I'm not supposed to be here, so I understand. With the caster situation, with Jimmy not being here and Andy playing up to the end, I'm just jumping in to help for the observation and asking some silly questions that top players like you don't even think about.
I think it's been great, actually, because I do think with me and Andy and Jimmy, we play a lot of Blood Bowl, and sometimes there are things we don't necessarily think to ask. And so it's really helpful having that insight as well. And as I mentioned at the start of the show, Vitooc might also have some exciting news for us later about season 11 as well. So that's to look forward to. But Vitooc, very much the reason we have this tournament at all. So very cool to have him with us in the studio. And even though we'd love to have you here as well, Jim.
Thanks.
We're glad to have you.
It's been great.
We're glad to have you dropping in from the sky.
The good thing still is I know that next year, Jimmy's passport will be valid for long enough. So,
yes.
So that's the good news,
Unless they give Jimmy a very short passport at the passport office, he'll definitely be.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh dear.
So this is kind of the interesting bit, Jimmy, with the 5 guard on both sides. The question of where you're willing to jam things in and risk your opponent using all the guard hit you back. Andy has got his ogre right in there, and it looks like Arzowane is going to engage with that and punch it.
Yep, just punch everything. Punch as much as you can, all the time. that's all this game is really. Honestly, like you've got to reroll.
This is a reroll, isn't it? Yeah. If nothing else, you just really don't want the armor roll on that player. So
yeah,
he's taking a think. He's not rushing it.
Once again, this tackle mighty blow. Consuming a reroll,
not even getting the
going
knockdown. Oh, that's frustrating for Arzowane.
It's no armbar, is it?
It's no armbar. What is though, Jimmy? What is? I'm not sure I understand the mechanics of armbar. Is the dwarf like, is he using his arm to just really like make sure that they trip up badly? Is the arm grabbing them by the neck as they fall over? I'm not sure I understand what the arm is doing in the armbar.
You're falling on someone is holding your leg or something like that. You will probably hurt yourself more than falling by yourself.
That makes some sense. Yeah, if they like grab hold of your foot as you're falling over, and so you're like
because
go face forward.
To grab your neck, they will need to be taller. So I guess they just grab your ankle, right?
Okay. I'm getting that. Mr. Greedy in chat thinks it's like a clothesline. Could be that too. Could be that too.
Yeah. It's certainly a strange name for a skill because, arm bars in real life are literally nothing like stopping somebody dodging away. So, yeah, doesn't really make any sense. But there you go. It is what it is. Yeah, arm grab is probably what it should have been called.
Is an armbar in real life is like a mixed martial arts move? Is that correct?
Yeah. Or judo.
Okay. This is
So, yeah, like nothing like anything that you could do to somebody dodging away.
well, you don't know that, Jim. These are very athletic dwarfs. They've got creative ways. They've got creative ways. All we know is it's a very, very powerful skill. We've seen it a lot yesterday. So who knows? Andy didn't even realize, by the way, when I was talking to him after the stream yesterday and we were talking about it, I said, armbar doing some great things for you. And he said, oh, did it cause any removals? And we were like, yes, just a couple. So Andy's dwarfs not using armbar, but getting a 2-dice block on that ogre. And we're back to my guard is in a better spot than your guard, which is, I think, the other part of this drive after the removals, isn't it, Jimmy? It's just getting your guard into a better spot than your opponent's guard. That is a reroll for Andy.
Ooh.
On a human, so did not
Arzowane
have to
okay.
worry about a lonely reroll.
Yeah, I think Arzowane will take that using burning a reroll.
Was that a
Not just in a
necessary
random
reroll?
fight.
I'm not sure that was a necessary reroll.
No, probably maybe though, because if he doesn't do it, then he blitzes in and then blocks, and it's
Yeah.
it's 3 players getting knocked over instead of 1. So
Which was a
it
dynamic
was necessary.
we talked about yesterday quite a lot, wasn't it? With the dwarfs, once they get knocked down, they tend to stay down and then have to get up and be base again immediately. So you do definitely like them standing up, don't you? And that is a dwarf going down because it doesn't have block skill. Am I imagining it, Jimmy, or did we see at least one game in this World Championship where maybe a coach forgot that the dwarfs with OWA had block skill?
Yes, we did. Yeah, it was Ungern versus Jay Lee. He
Oh,
played 2
goodness.
games,
Yeah.
taking both down.
So would you say like some players took OWA because of the package coming with it, even if it's not a faction they used to play?
I would think so, Jimmy.
Yes.
I think that's something you think as well, isn't it?
Yes, that's Andy, right? That's why I called his team shouldn't I have taken Necro, because he only took them because of the package, and he's not an All World Alliance expert, and obviously he's still a great player, but he's getting a few more percentage points out of playing Necromantic than playing any other team, and he's probably losing a few percentage points by playing a team he's really never played before, even though it's still Blood Bowl and it's still bash things. It's just there's those little things, there's little details you're losing out on it, and at this level it could make the difference. So it is interesting that he decided to not go Necromantic. Honestly, I really believed he would have done.
Something I wonder then is like, is Andy playing a World Alliance sometime in tabletop, or is just don't even own the team,
Yes. Yeah. Listen, I think that's an underrated part of why people pick any teams in tabletop. It's just, do they have the minis? Do they want to play with the models they find fun? So I think that does change the dynamic online, where of course people are much more likely to have every team. Of course, not everyone does have every team. They might not have bought the blood passes, but in general, the access to having all the things is more of a part of a thing. Andy on tabletop, I believe, is trying to get himself to a certain high tabletop ranking on every single race. So if he hasn't played much OWA, I'm sure it's on his agenda to get there eventually. But not yet. Not yet.
If he wins it all this weekend, it will, for sure. He will fall in love with the faction.
I'm Mortal Wombat in chat says, if it's related to the wrestling move, it's pinning an arm, this is armbar, behind the opponent's back and hyperextending their elbow or talking the shoulder. Has assumed it's similar in Blood Bowl, but when they fall from their dodge, they can't brace themselves against the ground, so more likely to land face first. Could be right. Maybe as the humans are getting away, they're just caught up with their arm wrapped up behind. And falling face first seems to be our common assumption. And I hope everyone noticed, by the way, that there was a failed dodge for Arzowane last turn, but it wasn't off armbar. So Arzowane planned that, saw where he could afford the fail, and didn't risk it on an armbar piece, but thought it would be okay somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're going to really confuse some
Yeah.
people with this armbar talk. I'm enjoying leaning into it, but someone's going to be like, God, this really is the best skill. We're being a bit silly because it's a skill that doesn't get taken that often, but which has been very impactful for Andy this weekend.
Well, we have seen last year after the World Championship, we have seen some more popularity for Imperial nobilities. So having all World Alliance here, maybe we'll see more popularity in the game as well.
Absolutely. Listen, certainly nobility, I've seen some really good coaches doing some good things with them in the last year, even since Andrew. So definitely nobility, I think, are one of those teams where, as Jimmy loves to say, with the right package, they can definitely be interesting. And OWA were for sure the team in this rule set that stand out, I suppose, as a team that aren't always that popular, but that were because of what they got in this one.
Yeah. Those and goblins, funnily enough.
Goblins. We did get 3 goblins. It was very surprising, I think, even having seen the rule set, I was very surprised that we got more goblins than Wood Elves. That was a surprise to me. But the 2 Wood Elves, one of which was me, didn't do so well, so perhaps it was correct.
Yeah, I mean, the Wood Elves didn't get a good package, did they? They're just a good Blood Bowl team.
Yeah.
Whereas the Goblins did get a great package, but they are still Goblins. So yeah, you still wouldn't expect many Goblins, no matter how good their package was, and you'd expect Wood Elves no matter how bad their package was, really.
It was super interesting, actually. Like again, we didn't get to see it on stream, but the matchup between Arzowane and Justicium, when you looked at it on paper, or at least when I looked at it on paper, the undead just looked so light because they had so few skills added. Oh my goodness, a failed rush, trying to base the Troll Slayer at the back. Oh boy, the numbers are starting to tip in a pretty dangerous direction here for Arzowane. Down 2 casualties and a KO on turn 1. Does have a bench of 3, so will be potentially still back up to 11 or 12, but one of those is a halfling, so I would prefer not to have that on, except for on the 1 turn. So going very, very well for Andy here so far.
Ish.
Oh,
Ish.
okay.
It's gone
Only
very
an ish
well in
for Andy.
removals. Yeah, it's gone very well in removals, but if you look at the board state, he's got 3 players on the ogre. He's got his ogre isolated there. He's got another player isolated at the bottom. He's got these 6 players, but they're not really supported, right? And okay, he's got a player advantage, 6 of his versus 5 of Arzo's, but he's got to protect the ball. I could see Arzowane pushing him in early here and getting a 2-turn chance.
So I have a question, actually, because I see what Arzowane was trying to do, which is if you do that last rush, you tag the Troll Slayer, and then the Troll Slayer can't surf you and has to go backwards because it's not going to dodge. But actually, if you don't do that last rush and you just leave that lineman not based 2 from the sideline, Andy's not going to take that surf, is he? Because he wants to go forwards. So maybe that rush was unnecessary. What do you think?
Sorry, I thought you were in a studio with him, but you're talking like you've never met him.
He's been very restrained.
Andy would definitely take that, sir.
Do you think
he would
so?
definitely,
okay. All right.
1,000,000%, yeah.
And even jokes aside, maybe that's even like an advantage he's got here is that Arzowane will. It doesn't even matter if Andy will do it. Arzowane thinks he'll do it, and that forces Arzowane to do the rush. So, which has turned out to be a very, very costly rush.
Yes.
So, certainly, looking back, you have to wonder if Arzowane wishes he could take it back. As the ogre goes down as well, even the ogre that was on 3 players, like Jimmy says, no longer doing his thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
1 dice pal there, stun on the other one, so he's really solved that little situation that he had there.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad for him anymore. Maybe he can't get the stall done. I don't know.
Now, I'm just going to point out that dodge that dwarf failed just now, if that had been off armbar, it would have been a 10. It would have broken armor.
Yeah.
So, the value of armbar, guys. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not that bad on Chaos Warriors now, is it? Right, the strength 4. They're one of the players you actually do have to dodge off. So, like, okay, Dark Elves dodge away from Armbar Dwarves, but not many people were dodging away from All World Alliance Dwarves, really, and they were the only players that had it in the old rules. And now Chaos Warriors having it, it's actually going to have some effect sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes.
Actually, maybe even better than that, Jimmy, something like the new Black Orcs that have the taunt, because that way you're sort of stuck between you have to follow up on a block or you dodge away and you don't want to. So maybe
Yeah, Biggins.
Biggins, sorry, yes, the Black
Biggins.
Orcs, different, yes. My mix up. So,
The Biggins are incredible. They're like one of the best players in Blood Bowl now.
yes,
It's
so
going to be very
Orcs.
interesting.
Orcs, for anyone who's not up on the new rule set, they are losing 2 blitzers and 2 biggins, but those blitzers and biggins they have got a lot better. So will be a very interesting team to see how that plays out in a different way.
Actually, this new rule set is something I'm looking forward also on the competitive side of things, it could mean like some newcomers, some new players, we could see new names, on this type of tournaments because, suddenly you're all kind of on the same page and like experience in playing the team. So it could like suit other type of play style and so on, no?
Absolutely, and even if you look at the qualifiers for this year's World Championship, as we've said, there were 96 players in total competing in the World Championship this year. And I know for a fact that some of those are relatively new to Blood Bowl. Some of them have only been playing for the last 6 or 7 seasons on Blood Bowl 3, which means they've been playing less than 2 years, maybe, or around 2 years. And so there is definitely opportunity always for coaches to come up and do it. And I think, as you say, with a new rule set, opportunities for people to be the first ones to see the advantages that teams have to make the most of new skills. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see in next year's World Championships, which will be the first World Championships of Warhammer Blood Bowl, see which familiar faces we get and which new faces we get. Again, actually though, even in this rule set, finals weekend, we only had 2 out of 8 coaches who made it here, who were here last year and this year. And one of them, yes, is the one you're watching right now on screen, AndyDavo. The other one was Olivier Dulac, who unfortunately went out yesterday. So
they will be competing next year to know which one can make it 3 times in a row. Well, they could do it both, but yeah.
Yeah, will Olivier or Andy make it 3 out of 3 next year? Super, super fun challenge for both of them, for certain. This...
He's going to force him in, isn't he?
I was going to say, Jimmy, this looks actually not that comfortable for getting to turn 8.
No, big mistake from Andy. Big mistake.
Yep.
Pushes him in.
Into the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And gets a Kaz out of it. Wow, big swing. Big swing.
Going to save him. Oh, failed.
Oof.
So yeah, that was not even a difficult chain, was it? That was we were busy talking about lots of things, and we probably should have said that much sooner. But Arzowane spotted it, and that's all that matters. So now Arzowane gets, was that 3 turns or 2 turns here? 2 turns to convert an offense, which is certainly a lot better than 1.
And KO failed also. I don't know why we lost the logos, but the KO is here.
Yeah, that's not too bad actually, because he might want to field the halfling anyway, right, in a 2-turn attempt. So it's not harming him yet, but he really wants to KO back for the second.
Yeah. And that was Andy's tackle mighty blow, by the way, that got Kaz. So that's a big piece for him to lose. That's not a small piece that Andy's just lost. Andy has lost a really significant piece for the matchup, as well as the possibility of giving up a 2-turn score here. But yes,
biggest piece you could say, isn't it?
Yeah. As Jimmy was just saying, the halfling for this drive, I mean, this is exactly the position that Andy scored in his first game against Le Marseillais. I think it was the first, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it's the one he won. The first one he won, I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, so having the halfling was the only reason he did score on his short drive, so It really is definitely nice to have. Although everything will feel difficult for Arzowane on a short drive in the rain. Everything is 4 pluses, which is pretty scary. I think we have the skills currently not showing. I don't know if that's just during the kickoff or if we can put those back on Vitooc. It looks like they should be showing. Maybe it's just during the kickoff and they'll come back.
Yeah, I think it's during the kickoff. We'll see
Yeah.
if he comes back when he kick off. But since we actually lost the logos for the KOs and injured,
Yeah. There might be just a little glitch happening on that.
yeah. I will see. If it's not the case, maybe I will have to
Just go out and come back in.
leave the game and come back in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Very heavy commit, Jim, to one side here.
Yeah, I think this is okay. Like, you know, on a normal drive, we always say defend against a blitz. But here, I think it's so hard to score a 2-turn touchdown that,
Yes.
like, it's okay to, you know, push everything into making it work. And then if it works, it works. Like, you know, maximize your chance of it working. If you get blitzed on, well, hard luck.
Yeah. Jimmy, this formation that we're seeing on screen right now for Arzowane is the chevrons formation. It's very, very common, especially against short drives. But could you maybe just give a quick explanation to people who maybe are less familiar of why this is like a good formation against 2-turn defense? For a 2-turn defense.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's a particularly good formation against a 2-turn, but it's basically the best we've got. Is what it comes down to. It's so hard to actually defend it, you know, well against a 2-turn, and like straight away, the other half of the pitch is going to be, you know, that the reason that Arzowane's attacking it down the side is so that half of the team will be unable to respond, right?
Oh
so,
my God, he has got a blitz. You summoned it. Sorry.
We got the skill back. Good.
And the skills came back, yes.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Sorry.
So it's an incredible kick for Arzowane, but the blitz is a nightmare for him, isn't it?
Well, as well as anything, it's not so much that Andy's going to threaten the ball, but now, because he's committed to one side, Andy can just move a load of extra pieces over to that side.
Yeah, real bad for Arzowane.
Yeah.
I guess Andy's got like the risk of, you know, he could mess this up, but very unlikely to, I think.
Yeah. Yes, always the risk when you get a chance to move players that you move them to the wrong places, but that's just the nature of the game, and if he does that, well, that's a mistake.
Since he did set up his loss, like really reacting to the one in defense, here he just can readapt. So it's kind of a solid defense situation for him, right?
I was wondering about that. And again, I don't know if, Jimmy, if you have perspective on this. I don't know if you think it would have been worth sacrificing one player to base all 3 members of that line, just because then you know on a solid defense or blitz they can't move. Because the ogre's going to go somewhere annoying now, isn't it, for Arzowane?
Maybe. I don't know. I think
it's a tough one because it's trading.
I would run the risk. As I said, I would run the risk of the solid defense or the blitz because it's just so hard to get through it and get the touchdown done. Ooh, not such a fan of this blitz by Andy.
I guess he wanted to hit the catcher because the catcher's got the movement. And I bet Andy, although he rolled pushes anyway, I bet when he was sizing it up, he was missing his tackle mighty blow.
I bet he was. Defenseless catcher would have been amazing to hit.
No.
But the humans have got, again, as well as the halfling, which is an option, they've got movement 8 on both of those catches. They can switch sides here.
Yeah, I think that's why Andy didn't want to risk moving the ogre because he blown-headed. There's suddenly like just a massive hole there, isn't there? So I think that's why he didn't do that, to risk anything going wrong. So Arzowane gets his scoring threat in. Like that is, so Andy went for the rush there, so it's a scoring threat. If you see the human player, you get obviously a rush and a blitz is a terrible idea, but now he's 8 squares away, so he could potentially score with this human lineman.
Yeah, both teams have a scoring threat right now.
Yeah, 7 even. So only one rush to score.
Yeah. So, but Andy has one as well. Andy has got that one lurking in case the pickup goes wrong. So, both teams have a scoring threat, which is nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he did this rush, because I was wondering why would you do the rush? It was for that, okay.
But in fact, Jimmy, would you even think about blitzing that just to make sure this doesn't go disastrously?
That's the question, isn't it? That's the question. I think it depends. So if the score was different, like, if this was game 2 or game 3, then that would change things. Because it's in game 1, you've got to assess how likely you think you are to win, how likely you think you are to score. You've got to factor all that in, and then so you could prioritize just blitzing him to make sure you don't go in 1-0 behind, like 2-0 behind. Sorry.
It's one of the great, fascinating things about the structure of this tournament is I think you are watching the coaches in real time make these decisions of, is it more important for me to not lose, or is it more important for me to try to win? And I think that's a really fun part of this best of 3 system. And we see it then play out that if someone does lose the first game, you get very different shape to the second game, where they know exactly what they have to do. Whether they can do it or not is a different question. So yeah, this is almost like a question to Arzowane about whether he values a better chance of winning higher than just making sure he doesn't lose. And it looks like we're going for the chance of winning, because doing this block will give him more room around the corner for the catches.
Yeah, he's done a bit of both, hasn't he? He's given up on the throw teammate option, and then he's put his least valuable player. Once he's done that, his least valuable player marking.
Well, hang on.
Kind of halfway.
Did you just suggest that the halfling is the least valuable player, Jimmy? I think a lot of
once
people
you've decided you're not going for the. Once you've decided you're not going to toss him, yeah.
I think a lot of people
Tell
in
him
chat
to him, watching him in the eye.
will be taking some offence at that. The halflings, much loved in chat after the one that scored the touchdown for Andy yesterday, and the ones that scored the touchdowns for J-Lev last season as well in the World Championships. Well, what do you know? Handing off, picking up in the rain, no problem at all for Arzowane. Easy. Easy pickup, easy handoff.
He had to re-roll the catch, actually.
That's true, with the built-in reroll though.
Yeah.
And the only question now is, I don't think you can put this anywhere completely safe, can you? Oh, we're doing rushes.
Another one or not? I don't think so.
Yeah. So this is going to just be 2 dice.
Yeah, it can just be 2 dice, yeah.
Unless you dodge the ogre now.
Like me.
You could dodge the ogre. We're not dodging the ogre. You could have, in theory.
Yeah, I feel like one person should have gone last,
Yeah.
and then double rushed and tagged that guy, right? Like the guard blitzer there at the top could have double rushed and tagged him.
I suppose it is. It's not great scatters for Andy unless he gets very lucky, and you have got the other scoring threats there. I guess is what he's told himself. So.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm with you that if you could have dealt with it, it would have seemed better.
Yeah.
Justice for Flings in chat. Of course. No halfling competitors in this year's World Championships. We had, as we said, 3 goblins, no halflings, but we have seen some halflings on these teams doing some work.
I was looking on the field for where was this tackle mighty blow.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, it's there, actually.
Andy will be looking for that as well, with sad feelings. Jimmy, give us the numbers. Someone asked in chat, what are the odds on 2 dice of rolling a POW on a blodger?
30%.
And then with a reroll, it becomes close to 50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts at 30 on 2
terrible.
dice. It gets better.
I mean, is there any better solution than just going for that, like, from the get-go?
I don't think so. I mean, he could try to get a 3 dice, but it would require a lot of dodging. So it seems not like that would be the right choice to me.
Yeah.
You could ping the ogre back, then ping the
double
ping the other way.
skulls.
Whoops.
Does not get a POW, so...
But yeah, you don't really want to do safe moves before you do the blitz because
Yeah.
you want to see if you pow, and then if you don't pow, then you want to run around and get in the way, right? So now he can make rushes to get in the way. He wouldn't want to make all of the rushes to get in the way if he then just goes and pows it, right? So he has to have his reroll available to try and get the pow. And now that he hasn't, now he makes the
Last
rushes.
reroll. Yeah. Yes, yeah. So now he's doing that afterwards. But now this feels, oh boy, this is looking rough for Andy now. This is looking very, there's a lot of rushes to make a good screen here.
Yep.
And the rerolls are all gone. So looking tough for Andy, definitely. Although there is going to be at least 2 rushes for Arzowane as well, because that is
Yep.
currently at maximum distance, that ball carrier.
Yes, yeah, that's why Arzowane had to rush last turn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This, oh, wait, oh, the Slayer can get there, can he? No. He can't fill that human that's gone there was the one at a double rush, so I don't know how he's going to fill the square behind this guy.
Oh, we
He's
can.
going to dodge, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
just gonna
He's going to have
He's
to,
going
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. It's not going to do it.
Yeah, give himself a dodge there, did Andy? But it was going to be really hard to get everything back anyway.
So this looks all too straightforward. Do we ball? No, we need to ball carry blitz because there's a blitzer right behind. Ignore me. So yes, this is just going to be 2 2+s with 1 reroll to get to the end zone.
Yeah.
Big moment in this series already. A chance for Arzowane to be 1-1 going into his offense. It would be first advantage to Arzowane if he can get this touchdown.
Huge advantage, yeah.
Once again, you probably don't want to do anything else because you want this reroll for the brush, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Niagara in chat asking a question. Could Andy have tagged the ball
Oh, yeah.
as well as trying to build a screen? I guess he could, but he would not have got 2 layers. As Arzowane goes in, tripwire is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Mr. Page music, the Mr. Page build-up music. I know which one they mean and I can't recreate it, but big score for Arzowane.
The KO that's still out once again.
So that does mean a halfling on offense, which,
Yeah.
in fact, did Andy ever get to hit that halfling that was tagged, or it was never a high enough priority?
No, it was more important to get the screen, wasn't it? At the end, he probably would have dodged that guy off and rushed to tag the catcher, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
rather than
maybe. Yeah. So
some mean people would say that Arzowane's got 10.5 players now.
who would say that? Who?
Me.
We might see the ultimate battle of halfling against armbar. That's what we're really here for. But listen, halflings have got some potential to fill squares and create chain pushes. So you just watch. You just watch as none of those things happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they're 30k, right? Like, they're not great players, but they do have things going for them, like the throw teammate and fouling, right? You might just foul with him.
I wondered that because Andy has used the Apo. So the foul, if you can trade it for a better piece, you don't mind getting sent off, do you? So definitely could be a use for it. Because, changing weather as well, that's not what Andy wants to see.
Perfect conditions.
Yeah. The rain is gone. But yes, as much as we're having fun with the halflings, they have much more value on a short drive, don't they, Jim? You don't really want them on a long drive.
No, yeah, I mean, you don't really want them in a short drive, as we saw from Arzowane.
But you do sometimes because we saw yesterday why you do. So sometimes you do.
Sometimes you need them. You need them. You don't want them though, right? Like they're never the plan A apart from for a halfling team, right?
Yeah.
They're a decent plan B or plan C. But they're never the plan A. Like they're just not. They're just not great players. Sorry, halfling lovers. I mean, that isn't why halfling coaches like halflings, is it? No one likes them because they think they're the best team, the most powerful team, right? They like them because they're fun and all the rest of it. So I think even halfling coaches shouldn't be offended by that. But yeah, it's better to have them on a short drive, so you've got the option to throw a teammate. On a long drive, just try and foul with them, and then maybe you'll get some value from them. I think is quite reasonable.
Big Shishi says, I don't even want a halflings when I'm playing a halfling team. And that sadly has some truth to it, I think, because there are halfling coaches who definitely just want to get their Griff Oberwald and whoever else they can have in the star player box more than they want the actual halflings.
I might advise to choose another faction.
Yes.
But,
I think you could choose a different faction if you're really trying to avoid halflings. But halflings have got some of my favourite cosmetics in Blood Bowl 3. I have to say, they have some really great cosmetics. There are some very fun hats and cookware costumes and all sorts of fun stuff. So they're a very fun team. But personally, if I'm doing stunties, it's always going to be goblins over halflings.
There you go.
That's my vibe. But some people love the little hobbits.
Quick strategy positioning question. I have been told, when we are in such situation, you probably want to position your guys protecting the ball like one square away in case you fail. You do not rebounds out of your protection. That's something you will do there? Or?
Yeah. I think here, I'll give my quick answer and I'll let you answer, Jim, because you might have a different view. But I think here it's mostly just that those are far enough back that realistically he doesn't think Andy's going to base those at all anyway, does he?
Yeah, he will need rush, I think, to do it, yeah.
I would still do it though, just because it's a good autopilot. This was always going to happen, by the way. Ogre on the tackle, the Ogre going stupid, exposed this tackle mighty, and because he used so many players messing around in the backfield here, he couldn't protect the mighty blow tackler. But gets lucky, doesn't die. Unbelievably, it doesn't die the only time it's hit. Like Andy's, right? Andy's got it, but once in a few games, and then instantly dead.
No, Andy's tackle might have got hit a few times in those Dark Elf matchups. He can't complain that much. he's not here, so I can say it. I think he took a few, because I remember Lamarcier going out of his way to hit that tackle Maishabo a few times. So
yeah, he did once or twice. Yeah,
sometimes. But you're right. Very much, Andy would have been hoping that one hit was going to even the score on that, because it's been the most important piece from the start, hasn't it? So definitely.
And he feels like he's got to get lucky now, right? It's 1-1. He's basically losing, right, at the moment. And yes, he's not losing because it's 1-1. But Arzowane has the advantage now. If Arzowane gets his drive done, he wins 2-1, barring a one-turn touchdown. So
barring a halfling throw, or another kind of one-turn.
Yeah. So at the moment, Andy's going to feel like he's losing. Is in a way, right? He is in a way losing at the moment. Unlike, I don't know what the boards. I don't know, game state. He's kind of losing, even though he's drawing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Equity is losing. I don't know. We need to think of a term, but it's a draw, obviously. But the advantage is heavily with Arzowane.
Do you think it's heavily? Obviously, it's with him on offense, but Andy has got all 11 on defense. He didn't lose anything on this drive. And perhaps, as Andy was saying at the start of the stream, it's certainly, whether or not it's true in general, it certainly seems like Andy feels like he's more comfortable on defense with OWA than he is on offense with them.
Yeah, that's true. All Alliance do struggle a bit on offense. But, he's just conceded a touchdown there in 2 turns. And it's generally easier to score an 8 than it is in 2. So
yes, yeah.
It's I think Arzowane's pretty good at the blood bowls, and it's going to be hard to defend this for Andy, definitely.
As Mr. Greedy puts it in chat, losing 1-1. I think that is definitely like a Blood Bowl sentiment, isn't it? Sometimes the score says it's level, but it isn't. That's the nature of the game, because having the ball is obviously such an important part of the game.
Yeah, I wish we had some stats on like how many, what percentage of drives were successful and stuff like that, because I imagine it's pretty
Gosh,
high.
wouldn't that be fascinating just for the World Championship, just to have like how many offensive drives end in a offensive touchdown, how many of them end in a turnover touchdown, how many of them end in a no score? That would be super interesting.
Taking notes for next year.
Well, I know there was someone in chat, and I'm afraid I don't know who it was, but I think Jimmy might, who managed to chart all of Bognar's stats through the tournament. Bognar being the troll, and also there was a little Bognar on the Black Hawk team, that one of the two Black Hawk teams that reached the last 16. So perhaps if we could get the same level of application on the tracking of the drive stats, that could be super interesting. Not that the Bognar stats weren't important; those were very important stats. I must be clear. Bognar was one of the stars of the tournament, so we're not
he really
advocating
is.
we're not advocating for less Bognar, ever, but just more of other things as well.
To come back on the match, I feel right now that Arzowane is quite comfortable with burning some turns, and Andy like not committing, just waiting. At what turn you think like Arzowane will have to move forward?
Yeah, the ball's very deep here, isn't it, Jimmy? No rush here.
I mean, honestly, with humans, you only have to get into range, like right at the end, right? You've only got to get 3 squares into the half, so he's probably going to want to move up on turn 12 or turn 13, and then he's going to want to try and get through, on turns 14 and 15, so that he's in range. 14 is the critical turn, but you've got to set yourself up for that, right? Like turn 6 of the half. Turn 6 of the half is the critical one on offense and on defense, funnily enough. So the rest of you want to spend the rest of the drive building up to that. But now it's so early that you don't really need to do that. You just need to maximize blocks and get stuns and stuff, and then hope that you get something. Like this is looking pretty good now. Actually, isn't it? The knockdown and the stun. Maybe he can push. Maybe he will bring up the ball now.
I was wondering, like to me it almost feels excessive for it to be that far back, Jim, because that way, like, you deny yourself the possibility that something unexpected happens and you see a really nice gap you want to take. I don't know if you would feel the same on that, or if you think it's fine back there.
Well, he can hand off to the other catcher, can't he, if he really wants to go somewhere?
Yeah. But that's a 1 in 9.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want it that far back. I personally wouldn't want it that far back, but I guess it's like a play style thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad to have it. And also, if you have it this far back, then like Andy might put that lineman forward, right, try and threaten the ball. In which case, fantastic. You've taken the guy out of the defense.
That's interesting. So almost like it's partly a bait in some way. That's an interesting thought, which I hadn't considered. Because I was thinking, I don't think Andy will push into the backfield. And so if you don't think he's going to push into the backfield, which is just my expectation of Andy, I don't think he will. And if I'm thinking that, then at that point it seems too far back. But what you're saying adds a different wrinkle to it, which is you're daring Andy to move someone back. Or through, I suppose, forward for Andy, but into Arzowane's back is what I mean. Into Arzowane's backfield.
Yep.
So it's really a battle of position, because the lineman which was here, I was wondering, okay, will he try to put pressure on the ball carrier to force things a bit, but finally just use it for some more punching power, probably, like giving assist?
Did get another knockdown on the Mighty Bow tackle without an armor break.
Yeah.
So definitely will be.
But this is the kind of thing that you were saying, right? Like if Arzowane had the ball up here,
yes,
then he could put the guard in, punch the thrower, turn the corner, and get forward. Now, it is too early to do that, but he could still do that. I think it's better to score than not score, isn't it? I know that sounds a stupid thing to say. But,
no, but it even...
sometimes people get a bit too obsessed about, like, they have to score on turn 8, like that. The thing is, if we saw what happened when Andy didn't score on turn 8, right? Is it the half 1-1? But I do think, at the end of the day, if you're not going to score at all, it's way better to score earlier, because you might not concede.
We were having a very similar conversation yesterday with the Skaven matchup, weren't we? There was a certain point where we were saying, listen, if you score here, you can't lose the series. But if you do, you give the Skaven your opponents a 2-turn, and so obviously it's different with different teams, and no one else is two-turn is as strong as Skaven's is. So, but I agree with you on the principle. I think sometimes people do get very, very locked into having to score on turn 8 when they don't necessarily need to.
Yeah.
That is one of the dwarfs that does have blocks, so that would keep them there. Arzowane looks like he's thinking about it, whether to re-roll that, but doesn't.
Don't think he can afford to. No.
Yeah.
Too early.
But it is very much the same place we were at the start. The ball is coming forward now. Interesting.
Really?
But it's the same thing as we talked about on Andy's drive, where it's that battle of guard positioning, trying to make sure yours is getting you the extra hits where your opponent doesn't.
Halfling gets the power. Let's go.
Of course, halfling, always underestimated. I'm surprised just that the ball came forward before throwing that block, because if that block goes wrong, it looks very different, right?
Yes, yeah, I thought that was odd. You see this so many times that people keep the ball back and then they move it up just before they do a critical roll. It is funny, but yeah, I think he should have done the block first and then done this and then moved into the cage. Yeah.
Wow. The ball is now a little bit further forward. Andy has got a nice line in front. There have been no removals at all on this drive, I think. Not sure there's even been an armor break on this drive. So both teams still at 11. And
It doesn't feel like there's been an armor break. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, there was a lot early in the last drive, and this one, it hasn't happened. Which does maybe tilt a little bit things in Andy's direction, because we were saying the offense gets a lot easier if you can get some removals. I always come back to this not a very original point, but obviously, like when you're on offense, you're kind of losing players because you've got to have someone carrying the ball, you've got to have some people in the immediate protection of the ball, whereas the defending team doesn't have to do that, as Andy gets a removal right on cue.
Yeah.
Commentator curse.
I mean, not really. Now is definitely advantage Andy.
Yeah.
It was maybe advantage Andy before. Now it's definitely advantage Andy. Could have stood at one of these dwarves first.
Ooh.
Andy playing 11
not
on 10. Andy playing nearly 11 on 9, but Arzowane uses the apple there on the KO, which I think that seems like an easy decision at that point. You need that player. Wouldn't you say, Jim?
Oh, yeah, he had to apple that,
Yeah.
No decision required.
So
I kind of like as well the fact, Arzowane is probably not going to go through this side of the field and he's keeping this ogre not in the fight, but ready for the moment where he will accelerate, right? He is like centered and probably being able to react with it.
Yeah, well, I think what that ogre's doing really nicely, it's moving now.
Talking about it.
But it's just having a strength 5 piece on the outside of the line on one side makes that side of the line much harder to move through. Like, unless Arzowane is willing to blitz it with his own ogre, which risks a 1 in 6 and 1 in 9, then you have to commit a lot of players to hitting that piece.
I see.
So that sort of inevitably forces Arzowane to look more at the other side, but Andy has made the other side really tough. So slowly, it feels like Andy is just squeezing Arzowane into a corner here, Jimmy. It feels like he's squashing him onto that left sideline, and at some point Arzowane's going to have to try to break out of it.
Yeah, I think it might maybe this turn, right? You can get the guard and you can 2 dice the thrower and then move around a bit. It's not good though, is it? The stun and the removal has really hurt him. He might have wanted to go last turn. Like last turn was a little bit too early, but he didn't have the catcher up. So I did kind of like doing it last turn or 2 turns ago, maybe I can't remember. But there was a point where I thought, if his catcher was up there, maybe he could have gone. It's not easy to get past the defense.
And that is the thing, isn't it? Like, it's almost a different section of the same thought you were having about, or we were talking about always insisting on scoring on turn 8. It's all good and well to say, well, you don't want to go forward too early, but sometimes if you don't take the space when it's there, the space won't be there later. So giving yourself the option to take the space feels good sometimes. Kratos, it is not raining. The rain stopped right in time for Arzowane's drive, which I'm sure Andy wasn't happy about, but hasn't really had a big impact so far.
Looking at how much damage Arzowane took also, would it be a strategy if you get, I don't know, like one more removal, something like that, to think, okay, it's 1-1, I will not take the risk to go to the score and just stay 1-1 and wait for the second match?
I wouldn't have thought so unless it's like maybe on turn 16 if your score looks really risky and there's a counter score on the table, would be my thought. I don't know if you disagree with that, Jimmy.
I think the fact that he's got the catches and
Yeah.
Andy doesn't have the tackle, I think that's what's going to make him not, if at all possible, he'll score. Like, yeah, on turn 16, he might not try if there's a counter score threat, but because the catches are so fast,
Yeah.
and that's the advantage that he kind of had. I would say has, but kind of had was the speed. He's lost a blitzer and he's got another blitzer stun, so he hasn't really got the speed advantage too much anymore. But that was kind of the advantage that he had was the speed, and he does have these catches. I think as long as he's got the catches, he's going to hold out hope of scoring. Definitely, it's not a disaster for him now. And like all the Lions aren't the same as like say Wood Elves or Dark Elves. If he was Skaven, if you're down 2 players and you arrive against Skaven, forget about it. Like you would absolutely button down the hatches and try and get the draw.
Yeah.
But here, I think he's still going to think he can get something, and even if he doesn't get something, it's unlikely Andy counter scores.
That's really interesting. The Ogre has gone to the left while the rest of the team goes to the right, so splitting his own team here. Don't know how I feel about that.
It's not what I would have done.
Oh my goodness. That human just survived a dodge off double armbar, chat.
Wow.
That is
But he had +2.
A tough human surviving the armbar dodge.
Imagine if he's stacked.
If it's stacked, I think it would suddenly be a very popular skill.
that would make chaos actually good, wouldn't it? Just pack 3 chaos warriors on somebody and get +3 to their AV. That would be incredible. That would legit be great.
So this is kind of the situation we were just talking about when Vitooc asked the question about the Ogre's position. I thought if you were going to go right, you would blitz that Ogre, which would be risky. The choice that has been made was not to blitz the Ogre. Oh, loner reroll again! We talked about the loner rerolls before the game, and they have continued to go fine for Andy.
But this one is a 4+, not
Yeah, 4+ loner reroll into a POW, into a casualty. Oh my goodness!
Confidence with the loners yesterday on Andy's side.
Absolutely incredible. Andy, loner, what loner?
I mean, he did not hesitate that long to put this reroll in, right?
He really didn't. But I think I understand that because it's turn 13 and failing that blitz was really bad for him. So I think that was a fairly easy reroll choice. I don't know if you disagree, Jimmy, but to me that was a fairly easy reroll choice.
Yeah, I think it was very greedy to rely on it. You know, like yes, it was 3 dice and with block, but and he got the removal out of it. But he could have just blitzed with a lineman, and then still basically the Ogre afterwards. If he rolled the 2+, that would have been like the safe way of doing it. But this has obviously got the huge payoff, and a lot of the time, if you do the safe move every time, it's just not going to pay off, right? It's a lot of people. This is the biggest thing that people say wrong on the internet. Say it's just a risk mitigation game. Well, it's not at all, right? You need the success state to be good enough to win the game, and that's why Andy went with the Ogre, because he needs that success state, which he's got so far.
This is suddenly looking like very real win chances for Andy, not just draw chances. I have to say, the decision to take the Ogre off to the other side of the pitch is looking really bad right now. I don't mean to be too blunt with that, but you know what I mean, Jimmy? That Ogre could be really helpful right now, and it's now completely not in a helpful place at all.
No, I think he should have definitely kept it on the other Ogre. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know what the plan was for it. Maybe he's hoping to switch sides back to that side. Maybe he still will. But that splitting your team when you've now lost players looks much worse.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's nothing like if there was the halfling was over there as well,
Yeah.
then there'd be like a switch plate on, but there's
Yeah.
really no support for the ogre. The ogre's just over there and irrelevant. Like he's not a threat. He's just okay. I guess he's making a 3-on-2 trade by putting
Yeah.
the ogre over there. I guess that's what he got. I guess he thought, he'll trade the quality of the ogre over there to take, to take numbers of players out, but. Sure. So maybe it's good. Actually, maybe it's good. Honestly, maybe it's good. It meant he got to hit the throw, and yeah, with this dodge and 1D was the only play available
Oh,
to
big
Arzowane.
pow.
Oh.
Huge pow.
That's it.
Follows up. Gives them the hit on that catcher as well. But has to make the dodge.
Just the dodge first.
Makes it. Wow. Scary, scary moment for Arzowane. Heart in mouth with that one.
He could use the fling now, can't he? He can make 3 dodges potentially and dodge the halfling through.
Did you hear that, chat? That was Jimmy acknowledging that the halfling can do things that those fancy Dan humans can't do. Halfling dodging through.
Yeah, I thought he might dodge him off rather than do the hit.
Yeah, that's probably more sensible, isn't it? I said this at the top of the show, didn't I? Arzowane, in his games against Justicium, not afraid of a 3+ dodge, and has made some big ones just now.
I mean, that's the problem with humans, right? You can't be afraid of a 3+ dodge.
Yeah.
Same thing with Skaven, like the linemen that they have to do that sometimes. Oh, he's made these 3 dodges.
Halfling through as predicted.
3 successful 3+. What
Now-
Jimmy was saying, you cannot rely on it.
Exactly. Now this is my one rule sadness with the little guys. I wish that there was a role that Andy's ogre could take to throw that halfling. I think you should have a role to try to throw your opponent's stunties. It shouldn't be automatic. They should have like a chance to wriggle free, but there should be a chance to pick up your opponent's halfling and throw it if you've got a big guy. If anyone from Games Workshop's listening, that's my suggested rules change.
Would be a lot of fun.
Would have to be the next edition because the 2025 edition's already out on tabletop, but roll on 2030. So, that ball is looking not so bad for Arzowane, is it, Jimmy? I'm not seeing an easy hit on it, unless I'm being.
It's not too difficult. He does need to power it. He needs to rush here and then power it, and then he's got to rush to blitz it. But
Of course.
it's loner, isn't it?
I was missing despite them being opposite colours, I was missing that catcher can just block the mighty bow tackle, can't it? So, yeah, that does create a hit. Oh, rolls a 1 on the ogre. That's maybe okay. Could be burning 1, but halfling again. Halfling
Ooh.
stands by the ogre and knocks it up.
So I guess with 2 rerolls, Andy's going with the dodge to 2 dice because then he's got the team reroll for the hit as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So Hellboy, the lineman, is going to make a dodge 3+ for 2 dice on the ball. Doesn't have great recovery though.
It could go in the crowd though, right? He's in Chun's column.
It's true.
So there's a chance.
There is a chance.
I'm never a fan of these just, blocks beforehand. Like, yeah, they're blocks with block, but they really don't mean anything if you don't knock the ball down, right? So I think just go for knocking the ball down first for me.
Fails a dodge. Has to reroll, otherwise this is game over, really.
Yeah.
Makes it. Doesn't get the power, but I don't think you put the second reroll. Andy doesn't. Doesn't even think about it. There was no pause.
Wow, I think he has to.
Do you think
because
so?
I think if that's your plan, it's better to have rushed with the dwarf, and then it's a 2+. It's like, no, this is a 1 in 9 instead of a 2+, but if you're not willing to put in both rerolls, then I think just don't put in any.
But does get a casualty. But I suppose the question again though, Jimmy, is Andy thinking I need 1 reroll for the 110? He's expecting it to fail and
Maybe
thinks
he
he
is.
needs it for the 110.
Maybe he is, but what I mean is, if that's what you're thinking is, then just don't use any and keep 2 rerolls.
Right.
If you're not going to
Yeah.
use them both, I think don't use any.
Well, this might now give him 2 turns. This is not looking totally automatic to get a stall here, is it?
No, true.
So
This
maybe
is
this is
decent.
enough for a 2-turn, yeah. I say not totally automatic, I'd say it's actually looking quite hard to get a stall here, looking at it.
Yes, I mean he might just stall even though he can't stall.
He has nothing to cover.
There was somebody. There was somebody. Oh, I can't remember who it was, but they was like, always stall even if you can't.
Will you
There's
take
an
the risk?
argument for it. I would just score personally.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so, right?
But just scoring is a dodge. Even that is it's a dice roll.
Yeah.
And Bread Shaped says
Or a
Arzowane
punch.
is due a 1 and 9 after 4 successes. Now, I'm not expert on maths, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Maybe it is. Maybe this is the middle
You should
point.
punch him. Punching is
Uh-huh.
better than dodging here, right?
Yeah.
The uphill is better.
Maybe it is.
Let's see if he pays his debt or not. Since he's due 1 and 9.
Wow.
So he's going to try and stall, I guess.
Or is he just taking a greedy
Because-
buck? Maybe.
With a block.
That's a
No,
blitz.
that can't be.
So,
That can't be. That's incredibly. If you're just doing that for no reason, no, it can't be.
But you
It's
can't
got
even
to
really
be.
cover.
is it not about stalling, but maybe just about covering the fail state? So now
Yeah.
this piece can stand where the character's going to dodge to?
Yeah. Things
Do you think it's about that?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, we'll see where it goes.
Sounds,
I think it's about covering the fail state.
I guess he's going.
yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Fails a dodge, makes a dodge, scores.
Wow.
Wow. Again, Arzowane, not afraid of those 3 pluses. He has got not a lot of players to defend with. That KO stays out again. So the 2-turn's very doable here. Very, very doable. Not a lot of players to defend
Yes.
with. So
I guess
Yeah.
he's praying for the rain to come back.
just quietly, we had a Skaven mirror series yesterday, and we didn't get any 2-2 draws, but we could get a 2-2 draw right away out of the humans and the Old World Alliance. So who knows? Not always the high-scoring teams that do the highest scoring, is it? You never know.
No.
Very, very deep here from Arzowane. How do you feel about that setup, Jimmy?
Yeah. I think. I mean, I need to choose my words very carefully here, but I think probably the best is absolutely terrible. I'm not a fan. I'm not.
Not a fan of this deep thing.
Funnily enough, this is exactly what the Fast Skill, the Amazon player that I played in group stages. This is how he set up versus me, and I was gobsmacked then. I'm gobsmacked now. Like it's different here, I guess, because Arzowane's got so few players.
He
right?
really has
Like
got
Arzowane
few.
has so few
Yeah.
players that he probably feels forced into doing this because, if he did anything else, they'd just all get tagged. Whereas Fast Skill did it when he had a whole team, and I thought that was a bit crazy. This is not really crazy. It's just desperation, I guess.
Magos, I don't think he forgot that Andy has 2 turns, because if he thought Andy had 1 turn, he probably would have at least done a line across the pitch. It is really hard to make these decisions with so few players, and it kind of brings us back to the conversation we were having about the chevrons before half-time, because if you have enough players on defence, and Jimmy, chip in if you disagree with me here, but I think if you're defending a 2-turn, one of your first things you're trying to do is to make sure the opponent only has 1 way to go through. So it's almost impossible to do a setup where there's no ways to go through. But at least if you only give them 1 way to go through your defence, then you know that on your last turn, you can then concentrate all of your pieces on shutting down that 1 way they've gone through. Whereas if you give space like this, Andy can set up scoring threats all across the pitch, and it becomes really hard to keep them in check because there's just going to be scoring threats spread across the pitch. That's my feeling about it.
The problem is with chevrons, they can go
Yeah.
either side, right? So they go one side, your guys are out. Oh
Timeout
my
makes it a
goodness.
3-turn. Wow, this really, really is
Oh.
looking very good for Andy to get the draw.
This is what I was wondering also. It's like,
Yeah.
because he's 11 versus 8, right? This is why he
Yeah.
doesn't get the whole thing in, because he's like, he doesn't want to, he wants to bet on this superiority, right?
Yes, yeah. It's yeah, I don't know.
I
I
think it
don't
was a
know.
mistake by Andy not to field the halfling, honestly. Big mistake
Yeah,
by Andy not to field the halfling. And yeah, the timeout is massive.
yeah.
There's a lot to be said for just having people that can, having your whole team be able to react rather than
Uh-huh.
like chevroning and half them go out the side. And with 8 players, there's not a lot you can do. There's force on not in chat. There's just really not. It is.
Yeah.
I think it's a terrible defense, but it's not Arzowane's fault. This is a terrible defense. It's having no
It's
players.
having
Is
no
this
players.
a recent?
Yeah. That is the question. Is that I don't know if that's a good one. Andy sending players forward right away, even though he's got 3 turns. Do you like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah.
We've seen before people not focus enough on getting it done. And
I think we saw Andy do that in the last World Championships. There was a game where he had 3 turns and he was a bit too casual and he didn't get his score. And I think I remember you specifically saying at the time, Jimmy, you should set up like it's a 2-turn, even though it's a 3-turn, just to make sure you get that mindset almost of knowing that you've got to go forward.
yes, yeah, absolutely. That's it. You need to get up, down the field.
Yeah.
And things happen.
So Arzowane's halfling will not be impacting the rest of this game. KO'd. And ball in hand. Very hard to see how this... Well, do you know what? I say it's very hard to see how it goes wrong for Andy. It isn't, because in the end, that ball is too far back to score on, so there will be at least a 1 in 9 chance of a fail, right?
Don't like this by Andy I don't think I like this by Andy. I think the catcher's out of range to get handed off to. Not sure if we could if we go down a little bit. Oh no, it's just in range, isn't it?
Yeah.
Run with a rush.
So, although you don't really want to use the rush. You don't want to do the rush, do you?
Yeah.
Because you've
should be 1 back, right? That catcher should be 1 back.
So you're looking to hand off next turn, are you, Jimmy? You'd rather hand off? Yeah.
You've got to, yeah. Yeah, you've got to.
It's actually not going to be a rush, is it? You do a pass, because the pass is a 2+ with a reroll, so why would you do a rush?
Yes.
So yeah, you do the pass.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
It's still a pass, though, yeah. It's a rush to hand off, is what I meant. But you want to hand off, right? You don't want to do... I wasn't actually recommending rush to hand off. What I'm saying is it's not just a hand off.
I was almost thinking, I was really saying that to myself, just because I thought it's a rush and you don't want to spend the reroll. But at least Andy knows, even though he's added a roll, which you don't want to do, at least he knows he won't spend a team reroll on it. If he has it, he'll spend a built-in reroll. So it means he can keep that last reroll.
It's a 3+ for the Old World Alliance throw.
Oh, you're right, it's a 3+ throw. Oh, I forgot.
This one is a 2+, but this one is a 3+.
Yeah, 3+. You're right. Yeah, I forgot. Looking enviously at the thrower on the other side, although the thrower on the other side is wondering where all of his teammates have gone. So
filthy human. They sent the Old World Alliance their worst catcher, their worst thrower. I mean,
just for now, because the next edition OWA get all of them. But for now, yes, sending the bad ones.
He sent them the bad dwarfs. He sent them the bad thrower.
Exactly.
Maybe that's
it's
why
an alliance they don't want.
Maybe that's why they had to make an alliance. They were like, listen, no one's looking out for us.
It's Renegades. It's All World Renegades, finally.
Oh, my goodness. Worst is Renegade. Well, the Renegade has the safe pair of hands skill, which safe pair of hands is one of those skills that feels not great, but actually every now and then is really useful. So it's a weird skill, but definitely not a great thrower.
No, it's...
Safe pair of hands actually it's best on an agility piece with sidestep, because that combination means that if you get sacked, you really can move the ball somewhere pretty good a lot of the time. But
the best place I find for safe pair of hands is on my opponent's team.
The anti-armbar, anti-halfling crew, closed-minded, anti-safe pair of hands. Safe pair of hands? That is what it's called, isn't it? Yeah. It's going I'm here defending it while not even being sure what the name is, because you never see it. It's quite rare.
Great point by Niagara as well, because that catcher was 1 square forward, 2 forward, one square too far forward. That's how the Mighty Blow tackle is tagged him.
Yes,
It double
yeah.
rushed there, and if he one square back, not only would he be in handoff range, he also wouldn't have been tagged by tackle.
I have to say, with so few players, I think that was a really nice turn for Arzowane. Like, this looks less comfortable than I imagined it would.
Yep.
Which is not to say it's at
Kind
all
of easy,
unsolvable, because it's
wasn't
not, because you've got a lot of players. But Andy has got to do some things that aren't as comfortable as you'd like, right?
Yep. Yeah, good
Including
solve.
this block without block.
Yeah.
So, but it hasn't gone wrong, so it's all right. That one does have block. But again, if that's a 1 in 9, 'cause it's a loner, you get stuck.
Yeah, I wonder if he should have blitzed him with a Slayer.
So we've effectively added 2 1 in 9s to this action already with that basing. So I do think it was a nice turn for Arzowane in difficult circumstances.
Yep.
Ending off.
And yeah, you've still got to do the 1 in 9 to hand off.
Does the rush. Interesting.
So do you dodge
Yeah.
here to go through, or
Oh, go backwards, I think.
do you move him and you go back?
Oh, yeah, hang on, wait. Yeah, you move that, yeah. And go backwards. Although going backwards, you're going to have rushes. You really don't like that dodge, but maybe you have to. The dodge gets you so much further forward.
It's just one rush, though, isn't it? He's got one reroll, so I think he'll just move.
Is it just one rush?
Yeah, if you just.
Oh
walk
yeah,
it
sorry.
over.
I think I thought that the lineman on the floor was blocking it. It's not. Yeah, okay. No, you're right.
Even go there actually
Yeah.
with the rush.
Yeah.
Oh. So now you've got no rushes currently, right?
Yeah.
8, yeah.
But if Arzowane can make you roll anything, there's a chance of a turnover. So gosh, scary for Andy, who needs to get a touchdown here to avoid being 1 down in the series. Again, we can have draws in these games, but if you lose game 1, then you cannot afford to draw game 2, because a draw in game 2 if you've lost game 1 means you're out. So really huge.
Arzowane here still has 2 rerolls. How would you use that? I mean, will you take more risk? What will be a risky action to do there to use it?
That's a super interesting question, Jim. How would you approach this turn as Arzowane?
I think the. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double rush for a 1 dice. That's not very good, is it? 5 plus
hang
for
on,
a 2 dice.
It's a 5 plus for 2 dice on the ball.
Yeah, 5 plus for 2. I don't know if a
Yeah.
5 plus for 2 is better than a double rush for a 1D. Probably the 5 plus for 2 is better, isn't it? But at least you've got something in the way if you hit him on 1 dice. Then you can bracket him. I think probably run around the top and blitz him like back and across, and then bracket him with the other guard player.
Because you've seen
not-
Andy use his reroll, it almost feels like the 5 plus feels less good, because if you fail that, Andy just scores without rolling any dice. Whereas if you can make Andy roll any dice, then he might fail them. But you know, a 5 plus with a reroll, it's one of those things. It sounds likely to fail, but it's not actually. With a reroll, it's more than 50% chance of succeeding. So just quietly, the roll there was a 5 plus. So for what it's worth, but Andy will now need to roll some dice and has no rerolls for them. So
This was the more sensible, safe play, I think, because you can get stuff around and
yeah,
cover it a bit.
and he's making
Yeah,
Andy
with-
roll a few dice here, so it's not nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, with no rerolls, I think, yeah, as you say, if like Andy had 2 rerolls, then you just 5 plus
Yeah.
in 2 dice. But the situation makes it a bit better to just make Andy roll something.
I think that's maybe like some of the sorts of level of decision making as well, though, that I think people don't always necessarily realise that coaches at this level are making those sorts of extra considerations. Like, it's not just what's the maths of this roll, it's I would do this differently if I knew my opponent had rerolls, isn't it? It's stuff like that in these games, because it's top level coaches, they will be thinking about that. They'll be thinking about all the different angles.
Yep.
And no doubt also some things that we are not thinking about. Always very, very different look at the board when you're sat here, isn't it, Jimmy, compared to when you're playing the game?
Yes, it's really easy when you sat in your house or in a TV studio and you're just, you've got a care in the world and you're looking at the board from a distance and you're not like in it, right? But when you're in it, you tunnel vision and stuff, and obviously the pressure and all that, and you've got to make the decisions. It's so much harder. Like it's crazy, the difference. Absolutely crazy. Can't compare it at all. Just sitting watching to playing.
So this turn here, is there a chain push for Andy? There sort of is. I can see one anyway, using the catcher, but I think it involves a rush, which with no rerolls I don't want to do. I don't know if there's another one that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, there's not an obvious one to me.
Because I'm thinking you could fill beneath the Troll Slayer and use the Blitzer on the right to push into the catcher, but that is a rush and actually doesn't even get you forward because you'd have to go into where the Blitzer is, so it doesn't even do that. Yeah, it's not nice. Yeah. Oh, dearie me. Super scary turn. So Andy again is currently one square back out of scoring range, so does need a rush, as well as whatever else he needs to get free. Really well defended drive from Arzowane. Again, started this drive down 3 players. Went for a very deep setup, which Jimmy was not sure about, but has made it work really well, especially given that Andy got a timeout. So this was meant to be a 2-turn drive and became a 3-turn drive. So really, really well played. By Arzowane.
I mean, I wasn't so critical of the setup as the assessment of it was. It's not good.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't good, right? It just wasn't good because he had 8 players.
Yeah. You were trying to make the point that just it's a tough spot. Yeah. Well, easy 2 dice on the catcher because catchers are strength 2. And now a 2 dice block on the front one, but it is a play without block, gets it and scores.
Unbelievable. Wow. Timeout and 5 cars, keeping Andy in the game.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, chat. That is 2-2 in game 1. There is no overtime because it is the first game of our up to 3 game series. I think probably Andy comes away the happier of the 2 coaches there, just because in the end he was losing there in the second half. Arzowane, having said that though, I think Arzowane, Jimmy, when you look at how the removals were going against him in that second half, at a certain point we were thinking Andy was going to turn him over and score. So Arzowane did do good work just to get into that position of being 2-1 up in the first place.
Yeah, great effort by Arzowane. He got the counter score, and to Andy with to make it 1-1, right? Like the 2-turn, he got that. That was great, and then he was great.
Cool. We've got a little bit of an echo on you coming back into the studio there. I'm not certain if that's going to come through to our audience or not, but never a bad thing to get more Jimmy laughs, Vitooc. Always love that Jim laugh. And I've only just seen Jim's background. Jim, who couldn't make it with us into the studio.
In Paris, finally. Look at
apparently has made it to Paris. Jimmy just choosing not to be with us in the studio because he preferred to be outside by the Eiffel Tower, and who can blame him? Jimmy, I'm not sure if we've still got the echo or not. Any final thoughts on that game from you, or just looking forward to the next one?
Yeah, looking for the next one. I thought it was really, really great stuff from Arzowane, and good enough for Andy. Right, he got himself over the line thanks to the timeout. And it's not like he played bad or anything. I just think Arzowane played great to get himself into that, and really good credit to Arzowane. He did fantastic with all those cards and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was from very early on, Andy was getting those casualties, and perhaps I feel like if there was one turn of the game that we thought was like a real, I mean, everything again, small margins, and we will say again, very different when you're playing, but if there was a quote-unquote mistake, it was Andy leaving on that easy chain push for the force in from Arzowane, which got punished very harshly, because that was, even though Andy hadn't suffered a lot of removals, that was his tackle might have went off. So really, really a high-level game for me again. And we'll have a second game in not too long. This is the point where if we were on Jim's stream, it would be tea and away. Everyone's going to get to go and take a little break, and we'll come back for game 2 in just a break. We'll see you then.